Hello, everyone. Today is January 16th, 2022, and this is a message in response to the many of you who've reached out via email to ask how I'm doing and how you can be of support. And I just wanted to let you know and kind of fill you in on what's going on here, and let you know that I miss you in the morning meditations, as I've not been able to attend so many of them in the last several weeks. So what's going on is many of you may be familiar that when I was a young man, I was run over by a horse, and I was very fortunate that at that time I wasn't paralyzed, but it did a lot of damage along the entire spine, especially the upper back and neck and the lower back, the lumbar region and hips, and it was ruinous. Physically in any case. But if it weren't for that, I probably would not have gone to Japan and studied the arts that I studied that ultimately led to TEM. So I don't want anyone to think of this as a mistake. It's just something that needed to happen, and without which I do not believe it would be possible to have TEM, the teachings, or any of my books, and the potential benefit that they can bring, certainly to my life, and I hope to many of yours as well. But what's happened is about 3 years ago, paralysis started to set in down my left arm, and later also my right. And the doctor informed me of issues with my spine that would eventually cut the nerves that reached down my arms, and possibly, worst case scenario, of course, paralysis from the neck down. At the time, based on what she saw through X-ray, that there wasn't any turning it around, and it was just going to be a progressively more painful and eventually immobilizing situation. She encouraged me at that time to discontinue any physical activities, like the martial arts and whatnot that I was doing. I mean, it wasn't an option for me. I couldn't hardly move my arms anyway, so I'd already set it aside. But after that, I made a lot of changes that helped my body to at least pause what was going on. And so I've been quite functional over the last few years and able to write several books, teach the morning meditations, TM meditations, as well as the other courses that we have now through the Total Embodiment Method. And so it's been a very productive time. But it started up again, and so actually I'm in quite a bit of pain normally, and my range of motion for my arms is very, very limited. As long as I keep my elbows at my side, although I can move them beyond my side, if I do, it pinches the nerve and further cuts the circulation and expedites the process of nerve death. And so that's what's been going on. It's quite tiring, exhausting. I sleep a lot. But the quality of sleep is very, well, not very good, because it's quite painful. And so that's why I have not been able to show up for so many of the morning meditations. And on the days I do, even sitting, just sitting can be quite painful. So this is why while I'm talking, I'm kind of rocking and whatnot. It kind of helps to alleviate the pain, not to be in any one particular position for too long. So that's why I'm kind of rocking as I speak. Now, there's an important thing that I realized a few days ago during deep meditation and communion with the body, and it was that this is right, that my body going into this state is not wrong, but actually it seems necessary, and that through this paralysis, assuming that that's what it turns into. But this process, which is painful and quite limiting in many ways, that may end up being a full body paralysis, that there's something that the body actually needs to turn into this, not remain in denial or not try to fight it out of fear, but just trust the body. And I know that's a very strange thing to say, but it just feels totally right for me. And so many of you have reached out and asked, how you can support and, prayers to heal and all that thing. And what I would suggest is that from the depth of my being, I need to turn into this, and that's right, and that there's something really beautiful, quote unquote, on the other side of this, something that otherwise I would not realize or could not learn. And so I would ask that actually, if any of you are inclined to prayer, is that it just be a prayer for trust, a capital TRUST, the all uppercase trust in the body, as I'm trusting in the body to the extent that I can, and that you pray for that trust. And something beautiful, I really do feel is on the other side of this. And then so that I need to go through this. Now, whether actually my body will be paralyzed or not, I don't know. It's not my business even to ask. It just feels like that's just fear even asking the question. It's distrust and a desire to control. So my only job is to move into trust with this. Some have asked if I'm offered medical assistance, would I reject it? No, so I'm trusting the body, and I'm just going to let the body do what it needs. So, for example, over the last couple of weeks, I've been taking anti-inflammatory pain medications and things like that. But since I had this realization, my body won't take those medicines. It's not that I have any ideology against them. I'm not opposed to them. If my hand reaches out and takes them, I will take them. So far, that's not been the case for the last few days. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. I'm just trusting the body, just trusting the flow of life, and see where it takes me. So if there's a medical intervention that's offered, I will trust my body to say yes or no, and whatever it says is what we will do. And so, much like getting run over by the horse led me to Japan to learn the many beautiful things that were so helpful in my life and have been proven helpful to so many others. I believe this similarly, or maybe even more so, will be helpful in the long run. Now, I don't know how long this process will last, but what I did see is that it's a total shutdown, and that something from that shutdown, something new can emerge. But the old pattern, whatever the old pattern is, needs to completely shut down. That's the current pattern. And then what new, something beautiful will emerge. So that's what I saw, but will that actually happen? It's not my concern or my business. My concern and business is only to trust. And so if you feel inclined to support through prayer, positive thinking, or whatever, but I would ask that it not be for healing, but just trust the body, trust the flow of the universe, trust the deeper knowing, and let it unfold in the way that it is helpful and necessary, meaningful and engaging, regardless of how painful or physically limiting it might be. I also, I guess, if there were any other prayer that I would ask for, it's a support for my wife, because she's going to, have to take care of me. She's the one I think this is going to be the biggest burden on. So that's what I would suggest. Now, will I be able to continue my work? I don't know. I mean, realistically speaking, it's probably going to be quite limited. I can't type right now. I'm just moving my fingers irritates the nerves, which causes further inflammation, which is quite painful, and of course would exacerbate this process. That is not the concern, but the pain is really not something I prefer to urge on. So typing, I need to limit that, which means I'm not going to be writing for the time being. I do have a drag and dictate software, so I can maybe write a book or something like with that software. But right now it's just not, it doesn't feel like that's where I need to be. I'm not in that mode right now. I'm in whatever this process is going on, that's what I'm working with. That's what I'm being with and communing with. As far as some have reached out about the Ocean of Awareness course and when it would open up again. And I actually hope to have it open within the next few months, but there's logistical issues because Soul Hub is in transition. That business was not successful, and so we're in transition of moving the courses over to my site and finding means to work through that transition. And so once those logistics are sorted out, I can let you know about when the Ocean of Awareness course would be available. But I hope that it would be late February or March, if at all possible. There's a lot of logistics there too regarding COVID-19 and what if you get sick during the course, because it's such a demanding course. I've decided that if that's the case, you just contact me and let me know, and we'll pause your training until the next time the course opens up, in which case you can resume. So long as people are very honest about that, not using it as an excuse, because it can be, the course can be so demanding, we want an out, and we can play it sick. The mind will play games like that. I've been there, done that, and it's so as long as we're really honorable and honest about it, just let me know, and that's fair. And if you're just seeking it out, let me know that too. That's fair. But if that's the case, out of fairness, if you were to leave the course the next time, if you felt like you wanted to join it again, you'll start over. You would pay for the course again because your promise was to follow through. So just being honorable, because that's how we can commune and really trust ourselves, is by not being deceptive or manipulative in such ways. So as long as we work together and stay in communication, even if you get COVID or something else happens to you that limits your capacity or curtails your capacity in mid-course, we can work through it. And so there's that. There are, of course, other courses. The Warriors Meditation course is going to be a potential prerequisite. What I mean by that is normally it's 3 months of total embodiment daily guided meditation practice. But the Warriors Meditation, a 25-day course, has proven to be very, very powerful. And it seems like just going through that course is sufficient to meet, that will be sufficient to embody enough that you would be ready to take the Ocean of Awareness course. So if you wanted to expedite your process and you didn't have 3 months in, by the time the course comes up, you could join the Warriors Meditation course, take that, and that will save you some time. And so I think that's pretty much it. So I'm just asking for those of you who do wish to send prayers, that it's trust, and that's all. And for my wife, that just maybe it's just a feeling of support for her. That would be very, very helpful. And also, I'm expecting to have an MRI in the next period of time, so I'll know further and maybe make an update to my YouTube channel or something like that. If you're subscribed on my site, you can see the updates. And I think what I'm going to do is just kind of document this entire process. And so I think that's all for now, until I have the logistical issues with Soul Hub sorted out and all of the course material on my website set up in a way that it's functional. There's not much I can do as far as I can't say what the dates would be for the next course. So my apologies for that, but that's just the way that life plays out. And then thank you so much for your support, and please continue your daily meditations. Even if I'm not there, the facilitators are well trained and they do a beautiful job, and I hope you'll show up for them. And please know, as anytime I can, I will join, and because it's a real blessing for me to be there with you. And so I'm doing my best, and I hope you will continue, and we'll work through this together. Thank you so much.